Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. So this week what I'm doing is I'm preaching sermons. Don't worry, they're not long, 4 to 5 minute sermons, but I'm preaching to different people. So yesterday, my video thought for the day was, what would I preach if I were preaching to Vladimir Putin? Today, it's a little bit different. If I stood up in a pulpit to preach a sermon and I looked out and there on the front row was Selena Gomez, what would I want to preach to Selena Gomez? Well, now some of you may be saying, who's Selena Gomez? But I doubt people are saying that. After all, she, at my latest count, had 338.9 million followers on Instagram. She is one of the most followed people in the world on Instagram. Her influence is huge. So, Selena Gomez, she's there. What do I have to say? Well, I'm a preacher with always 3 points. So the first point I would make for Selena Gomez is as follows. I want to affirm you. Selena Gomez has been a star since early childhood. I think she was like on Barney. And then she had the Wizards of Waverly Place show. And she's been able to be a musician and sing. And she's had a huge following that she has earned through her life. And she professes Jesus as Lord. And I just affirm someone who walks in their faith, especially someone who's so successful in the world. And it makes me want to affirm her. And I affirm her because she doesn't seem to put her emphasis on how she looks, on her popularity. She seems well balanced, and I'd want to say I affirm you in that, Selena Gomez. You embody to me what Proverbs 31:30 says, that charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And I think that's Selena. So first point, I would affirm her. Second point, I would encourage her because she does live a life where there are a lot of detractors. Everybody wants to tear down someone who's successful. Everybody wants to hyper-focus on someone, and we all make mistakes, and life is hard enough without having people put you under a microscope. So I'd want to encourage her, and I'd tell her the story about the prophet Elisha and the king of Aram. It's found in 2 Kings, I think chapter 6. And the king of Aram was trying to defeat Israel, but at every turn, Israel would outsmart him. And the king said, why is this? One of his advisors said, well, they got this guy named Elisha, who's a prophet of the Lord. And every time you decide to do something, he already knows it, and he tells them what's about to happen. The king of Aram says, you go take the army, you go arrest this prophet named Elisha and bring him to me. I'll kill him. The army goes out. Now, the prophet Elijah is living in a house. He's got a servant who works for him, a steward, and the steward goes out and sees that the town's been surrounded by this army, and he's petrified. The king of Aram and his army is here. They're going to destroy you. And Elijah says in 2 Kings 6, he says, do not be afraid. Those who are with us are more than those who are with them. And Elisha prays for God to open the eyes of this steward, and the eyes are opened. And he sees this army of angels in flames around with a massive army. And he understands that he didn't see it before, but God is there. So the second thing I do is encourage Selena Gomez that those who are with her outnumber those who are against her. And then the third thing I do is I would challenge her. And I would challenge her with Psalms 20, verse 7, which is one of my favorite Psalms. It says, some trust in chariots and some trust in horses, but we'll trust in the name, the character, the reputation, the person of the Lord, our God. And so my encouragement to her would be, and my challenge to her would be to continue to live a life where she walks by faith in God and not by sight. Because that challenge is real, but God is a true resource for all of us. So maybe you can personalize this message. Let me affirm you when you walk with God. Let me encourage you that if God is for you, nobody can be against you. And let me challenge you to continue to put your faith in him. That's your video thought for today.